Welcome back, and I'm back with another one here today. I have two of the best debulking clippers in the game, detachables, and I wanted to do a little comparison since now I have access to both of them. So really they're very much the same. Now for those of you guys who have been following me for a while, you know that this one here I've had for 7 years, maybe going on 8 now. I've had it for a long time. It's been a workhorse. It's been absolutely great. I've never had a problem with it. And I don't want to go too far in depth about everything about it because I've done that in other videos. I just basically want to compare this to what the newer model, the Octane, is in the ins and outs. So it's pretty smart of Oster, I think, to kind of rebrand it and sort of focus it in on the barber world. Only, you know, some people were able to get a hold of it this early. And if you think about like 7 years ago, if you go back, there really wasn't a lot of great cordless options 7 years ago. So having this 7 years ago really put me in a league of my own. It really was something that was just awesome. It changed the culture for me. I didn't have to have that plug, and it had all the power I needed. It could perform as well as I needed. And hey, if I had to cut a dog's hair, I had to cut a dog's hair. No, I'm just joking. But yo, this was a pet grooming clipper, and in a way you could say that this is still a pet grooming clipper. Now, the difference that one of the real only differences I see is if you look under here. This is a lock. I broke it, but you used to have to push this in to remove this blade, and that was because if it was being used as an animal clipper, a grooming clipper, it was prone to maybe getting hit by the dog or something like that, and maybe could knock off the blade. So that was there to hold it on, and I eventually broke it, got it kind of pushed all the way in. If you look at the Octane doesn't even have that, and it simply just releases just like anything else. Now, I'm not so sure if this is because mine's gotten old, but let's do a little sound check here, okay? Oster Volt. Octane. Volt. Octane. I don't know how clear it's coming through on the video, but when they're in person, the Oster Volt is very, very loud. I don't recall that it ever was that loud, to be honest. It didn't used to seem like it was that loud, but now, being that it's so old, there's probably something in it that's going wrong. It's starting to make a lot of noise, and I actually haven't upgraded yet. This Oster Octane is not even mine. It's a barber who works in my shop. And I just decided that I'd do a little comparison video to the two. So like they feel exactly the same, they look exactly the same, the batteries look to be about exactly the same. And this is kind of another awesome feature is the fact that this is a modular battery, and you know how nice that is to know that if something ever happened with this battery, which they don't, there's been no problems with this battery in 8 years. If it went tomorrow, I'd be okay with that. But the fact that it's modular is nice because I know that I can just buy another one online for like $60 and I'm not out the entire unit. Now, I'll put the link in the description for both of these clippers, but you're going to find that this one on average is usually about $50 cheaper. And I'm not really sure why that is, but the main thing too is when you buy an animal grooming clipper, you're going to get an animal grooming blade with it. Now, if you buy the Oster Octanes, you'll get at least a number 1 with it, and in some cases, I think you'll get a 000. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't unbox it, but when he bought this one, he got a number 1 and a 000. I don't know if that's the case with all of them, but when you buy this one, you won't have that. Now, if it was me and I was out there making this purchase, I would probably consider to get the Volt just to save the $50 because I have all the blades I need, so I don't actually need to buy the number 1. I don't need the 000. I don't need any of that. So if it came down to me which one I would pick again, I would probably pick the Volts. But if it came down to like color and aesthetics and stuff like that, I mean this feels nice. The texture here is a premium. It's a really nice feeling clipper. It's a good looking clipper, and it performs just as good as the other one. Not to mention the fact that this one is pretty whisper quiet. I can talk with my client when I'm using this and I don't feel like I gotta scream. This one here, it's pretty obnoxious, especially when this is getting down by somebody's ear. It can be pretty loud. There's been a couple people that have complained about it, but on the whole, it's just I'm not using it that long on somebody. I'm just using it to knock down bulk. My main blades that I use whenever I use one of these detachables, I use the 5-0 like all the time. I use it for clipper over comb, so that blade takes the most abuse. I also use a 1.5, I use a number 2, and I use a 3.5. I don't really blend with them other than clipper over comb. I don't do anything like that. I just remove bulk with them, and for that purpose they work awesome. Also, you can get blades that will attach to these, so you can go all the way up to a number 8. So if you wanted to use this as a debulking tool, you could put a number 4, number 5, number 6 on top of one of these blades, which pretty much puts you in the same boat that any other clipper would, but it's got a lot more power. It can get through that bulk a little bit quicker. So that's an option if you wanted to do that too. But as far as anything else on these two clippers, I really don't see anything too different about them. They just feel about the exact same. They look the exact same. They're just a different color. So if you want to spend a little bit more money and get the Octanes, you like the color, you like the feel, you like the look, I mean, go ahead and do that, you know. But if it was my purchase, again, I would go with the Oster Volt. The pet grooming thing doesn't throw me off. And as far as I am learning about the new Wall Mentor, I guess that was also a pet grooming clipper too, being repackaged into a barbering clipper, which is, you know, kind of cool. And I haven't got my hands on that yet. I would love to get a pair of those Wall Mentors, cordless version, and give them a try and put them out on the channel. So maybe I'll do that. If I get a chance, I'll get around to doing that. But I just wanted to make this quick little video real quick, show you guys a little heads up action, and you know, help you guys if you guys are making a decision. Now, when it comes down to buying a detachable, there's a couple things that I look for that, you know, if you're gonna buy a detachable, there's really good cordless options out there. So I would cut the cord personally. That's my thing. And 2, I would make sure the battery's modular, because batteries are subject to getting destroyed. They can just die on you overnight. Something could happen. So yeah, I would make sure that the battery is modular. If the battery is not removable, I wouldn't waste $200 on it. I would spend that extra $50 to get something that actually has that quality and that level that you can replace that. And 3, the bases. Alright, so look, the base is exactly the same. I could actually charge an extra battery here if I wanted to, and I'm not going to have a problem. So yeah, the fact that the cordless clipper game has come along so far, it really hasn't come along that far when you think about it. It really hasn't come along that far, because look, I've had this for 7 years, and just now, in 2019, they're realizing that, hey, maybe barbers would want to use some of these clippers too. So I think a lot of companies are probably looking inside to stuff that they've already made, and they're probably wondering like, hey, can we market this to a different audience? And smartly enough, they are starting to do that. So it's pretty cool to see that, but I would really like to see some more innovation coming out of some of these companies. But yeah, that would be my checklist for anybody who's out there searching for detachable. You don't know what you want, you're not sure, and just to be clear, unless you're using a very old detachable blade, all of these detachable clippers are usually interchangeable, especially any of the newer blades are going to fit on any detachable. So you can get Andis detachable blades, you can get Oster detachable blades, and they're going to be interchangeable. So I just wanted to mention that too. But all right, you guys, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, thanks for checking this one out, and subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you guys in my next